Yeah, good afternoon, students. So let us quickly start off with the class. Now, in the last class also, yesterday's class as well as today's class, we were again dealing with graph isomorphism. So I feel still some of them have some doubts. We will take up one or two more problems in this class also, and then let us go to the next concept. All right. So let me draw the graph. You also take down, I want all of you to write down the graph because I'll be changing
Yes,
the
ma'am.
sheet and then it will become difficult. See, this concept is very important. That's why we are actually spending the third hour on this. Yesterday morning also, we did one, we had taken one class today also, and now again another class on the same thing. So this concept is important. So please pay attention, all of you. Let me quickly draw the graph. This is our graph G. Let the paper move off the bottom. Okay, this is the graph H. So now we have to prove that G and H are isomorphic. Whether we have to check whether G and H are isomorphic. Okay. Are you all able to hear me and see the screen as well? Please, anybody can respond to me.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good, good. Okay. So let us begin. So I will write about G here, H on this side. Okay, what is our first property? We have to find out the number of vertices. That is our first property that we have to check. Can you count and tell me the number of vertices?
6.
Six. Who said six? It is seven.
7, 7.
Yeah, seven. Both the sides seven are there.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Next one, yes. Next one we'll go on to the number of edges. So find out the number of edges. Count the edges properly. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
12
6,
edges.
12.
7. How much did you all get?
12.
8,
14, I think.
9, 10, 11,
12, ma'am.
12. And where did I miss out one? Getting only 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
12, ma'am.
3 to
Okay,
7.
6, 7. Huh? 7 now. 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, this one. 3 to 7. Correct. Thank you. So there are 12 edges. Here also are we finding 12 in I'm sorry, in
Yes,
H
ma'am. We
graph?
find
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Exactly 12. So the first two properties are satisfied. All right. Next, let us move on to the degree sequence. So I have to find out degree of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Okay. Here again, degree sequence of A, B, C, D, E, F and G. This is what we have to find out. Okay. Degree of 1,
3, ma'am.
3. Degree of 2 is also 3. Degree of 3 is also 3. Degree of 4 is also 3. All are 3 or what? Degree of 5 is also 3. Okay. Degree of 6 looks more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
1.
Degree of 7 is also 3. Did you all get this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Now let us see on the other side. Degree of A is 3.
3,
B is also 3. C is
3,
also
3,
3. D is also 3. E is also 3. F. 1, 2,
6, ma'am.
3, 4, 5,
6,
6,
ma'am.
and G is also 3. Okay, so the sequence is the same. So third property is also matching. Are you all with me? Are you all doing along with me?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Right. Okay. Now let us go to the fourth property. Fourth property is smallest possible cycle length should be same. So smallest cycle length. What is this? There are cycles in this, so we have to consider this particular property, right? So if you look here in the graph G, we have a cycle, let us say 3 to 6, 6 to 4 and 4 to 3 is a cycle. 3 to 6, 6 to 4. Any cycle you take, I think it is not more than, length is not more than 3. So we can
3.
take, I think, smallest possible cycle length can be taken as 3. Can we take it as 3?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we can find one more cycle 1, 2, 6 and 1. That is also a cycle which is of length 3. Again, all the cycles, I think all of them, most of them are, anyway, smallest cycle is what we are worried of. So that is 3. Here also in case of this graph, A, E, F, A is one cycle. Again, this is of length 3. So smallest cycle length property is also satisfied. Next, let us go to the next property. What can we take up? Vertex preserving. Shall we take up, what shall we, one second. Okay. So let us take up the next property, which is vertex preserving. That means every vertex of G should be made equivalent, should be mapped to an equivalent vertex in H. Okay. So here, if I start with 1, 1 has the degree 3. So what are the 3 adjacent vertices you have to find out? Okay. What are the 3 adjacent vertices for 1, 2, 6,
2, 6,
7. All
7.
right. Yeah. So degree of 2 is 3, degree of 6 is 6, degree of 7 is also 3. Next. In the graph H, I will take up A. A has degree 3. Okay. A is adjacent to which are the vertices? A is
E, F,
adjacent
B.
to B. B is adjacent to A is adjacent to E and F. B has degree 3, E has degree 3, F has degree 6. Right? Now, let me take up another vertex 2. 2 is of degree 3. So, which are the vertices which are adjacent to 2? 5, 1, 5 and 6. 1, 5 and 6. 1 has 3 vertices, 5 has 3 vertices, 6 has 6. Similarly, here I can take up any of them. What can I take up? Let me take up B only here. B has 3. What are the adjacent vertices of B? We have A, F and G. So 3, 3, 6 and 3. Okay. So now if you observe here, a vertex preserving, 1 is a vertex which has adjacent 2, 6 and 7 which are of degree 3, 6 and 3. Okay, similarly here A has 3 vertices which has the degree 3, 3 and 6. Both are equivalent. So I can always write 1, I can make it equivalent to A. Are you following?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now again, if you look here, 2 has 3 adjacent vertices of degree 3, 3, 6. B also has 2 adjacent vertices of 3, 3 and 6. So I can make 2 equivalent to B. 3, where is 3? Let me, okay, if I take 7 here next, 7 has degree 3 and vertices of 7 are 1, 6 and 3. So 1 has 3, 6 has 6, 3 has 3. Here if I take up any vertex I can find out like this, okay, not necessarily something in particular order. A, F and C, again you have 3, 6 and 3. Okay, so every time 6 and F can be made, let me see what all equivalent vertices I can make for each of these. I'll note down. 6 can be made equivalent to F because 6 also has degree 6. F also has degree 6. So I can make 6 as equivalent to F. Next, what can I make? 5 and 3. 5 can be mapped on to, see here. 5 has degree 3 here. 1 and 6 of this we have already made it equivalent. So here A and F we have already made equivalent. 5 can be made equivalent to G. 3 and 4. 3 is equivalent to 3 here. A and F already mapped. A and F already mapped. I can make C equivalent to 3. 4 can be made equivalent to D. This is kind of becoming a one-to-one mapping. It is very direct, so there is no issue. Any doubts? So this is our vertex preserving, where every vertex of G graph is mapped to a particular vertex of H graph. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
There are 7 vertices, ma'am.
Oh, is it?
7, ma'am.
Okay, then
7
7 I
equal
can
to
map
E.
it to E. Right. 7 is mapped to E. All right. So next next one is you have to going for edge preserving. Okay, let me change. All right, next sixth property we have to do is the edge preserving for the graph. So what did we say? Every edge of every vertex we have mapped it to an equivalent vertex in H. Now every edge of G has to be mapped to an equivalent vertex of H. Now first step is, as I told you in the last class also, we'll first list out all the edges of G. Okay, so that we don't miss out on any particular edge. That's the point of listing out. How many edges we have? We have 12 edges, correct? So let us list out all the 12 edges. We have 1 to 2 is one edge, 1 to 6 we have, 1 to 7 we have, then 5 to 2, 5 to 6, 5 to 4, all this equivalent in H I have to find out. Six edges I have listed out, another 6 I have to list out. 3 to 6 is one edge, 3 to 4 is one edge, 3 to 7 is one edge. Don't repeat the edges. 6 to 7 means don't take 7 to 6 also. That is not required. 6 to 4, 6 to 2. These are our 12 edges of G. Now for each of these 12 edges of G, I have to map an equivalent edge of H. Alright. Now 1 to 2. For this, how to do this mapping is, it is based on the vertex preserving. So we have already found out what is the equivalent vertex for 1 and what is the equivalent vertex for 2. Just replace that here, that's all. 1 is A and 2 is B. So this will become AB. Go back to your graph and see. See here, AB you have an edge. So this 1, 2 is equivalent to your AB. If you don't have an edge AB here, then whatever edge preserving you are trying to map means that is wrong. Okay, that means you'll be trying to bring in some new edge which is wrong. Okay. Now 1 to 6, can anybody tell me which is the edge preserving equivalent for 1 to 6?
A to F.
A to F. So A to F should be adjacent. A and F should be adjacent. See here, A to F you have an edge. So 1 to 6 is equivalent to A to F. Next, 1 to 7. A to E. Because 7 is equivalent to E, 1 is equivalent to A. So 1 to 7 should be equivalent to A to E. Next is 5 to 2. 5 equivalent is G. 2 equivalent is B. Look at the edge. Look for the edge GB. GB. This edge. GB, there is an edge. So that edge is equivalent to your 5, 2. Okay. Five, 6 is nothing but GF. 5, 4 will be GD. See, 5 GD is equivalent to 5, 4 and GF is equivalent to your 5, 6. Why this disturbance? Please mute unless you have any doubts. Next we have 3 to 6. 3 to 6 is C to F. All 3 is my C. 3 to 4 is C to D. 3 to 7 is C to E. So C to F there is an edge here. C to D also there is an edge. C to E is also there is an edge. So they are equivalent to the corresponding 3 to 6, 3 to 4 and 3 to 7. Next we have 6 to 7 is F to E. 6 to 4 is F to D. 6 to 2 is F to B. So F to E we have an edge. F to D we have an edge. F to B also we have an edge. These are equivalent to 6, 7, 6, 4 and 6, 2. Did you all understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Next we have to find out the last property is adjacency matrix. Okay, write down the adjacency matrix 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is for H. For G. For H, you have to write down the equivalent vertices in that order you should write. Okay, don't write, Okay, what is equivalent of 1 is A, equivalent of, I think there is no change here as such. A, C, D, G is changed, I think. C, D, 5 is G. F and 7 is E. You're right in that same order. So A, B, C, D, G, F and E. That is the order in which you have tried. Can you tell me the adjacency matrix, whether they are matching?
Yes, ma'am. 0 1 0 0 1 1.
1 minute. Yeah, tell me.
0
For
1.
G you're telling or H?
G.
Both are same only anyways.
Yes, ma'am.
0, 1, 0, 0,
0 1 1.
0, 1, 1. Did all of you others are getting it or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't simply tell yes if you are all this will be asked in the internals next week. Then 1, 0, 0, 0.
1 1 0.
Yes, 1, 1, 0. Third row, anyone?
0 0 1 0 1 1.
Okay. Fourth row,
0 0 1 0 1 1 0.
fifth row.
0 1 0 1 0 1 0.
Okay. Next.
All ones, ma'am.
All ones. Huh?
No, ma'am. 6 to 6 will be 0.
Except 6 to 6.
There is no loop, so this has to be 0.
Yes.
Yeah. Then seventh one, 1, 0.
1 0 0 1 0.
Yeah. This will be same as that. Okay. So all 7 properties are satisfied. So this means both our graphs G and H are isomorphic. So that's the solution. Any doubts, anyone? I want you all to ask. Yeah, tell me. Where is your doubt? Tell me. Who is this?
Ma'am, Akrut.
Yes, Akrut. Tell me, Akrut. What is your doubt? Tell me.
Ma'am, ma'am, we have to take that vertices according to you, ma'am. You only, ma'am.
According to?
Ma'am, according to ma'am, I don't know, ma'am. How to take that vertices?
No, where? How to take vertices means which step you are having doubt, that you tell me.
Ma'am, in that step 5, ma'am. Vertex
Okay.
preserving.
Step how vertex preserving. How we are trying to take it as equivalent. That is your doubt.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. See, you don't have to take in this order only. You can take any vertex at random out of this. 7 vertex are there. So you can take any vertex. For example, I took 1. If I take the first vertex, what is the degree of 1? 3. Correct?
Yes,
now, 1 is incident with 3 different, vertex. That is 2, 6 and 7. Right?
yes,
So this degree of 2, 6 and 7 is what? 3, 6 and 3. Now, you have to look out for a particular vertex which is having the same kind of degrees.
yes, ma'am.
So, if I take A is of degree 3, it also, that means it is also incident, it is adjacent to 3 vertices, that is B, E and F. Each of them are also having 3, 3 and 6.
Okay.
Okay, that means what? There is a vertex 1 which is adjacent to 3 vertices which is having degree 3, 6 and 3. Vertex can be anything. So in H also we have a vertex A which is adjacent to 3 more vertices with the degree 3, 3 and 6. Hence I can say 1 is equivalent to A. Are you clear?
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಇದು ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಬೇರೆ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ನೀವು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು ನಾನು ಇದು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಹಾಕ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅದೇ ತರ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ.
ಏನ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ?
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಇದು 3 to C ಮಾಡಿದೆ.
3 to
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಇದು ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಲಾ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. ಇದು 1 to A, 2 to B, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇದು 3 to C, 4 to D, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಇದು 5 to E and 6 to F and 7 to G.
ಓಕೆ.
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್.
ಆಗುತ್ತೆ
ಇದೆ
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. ಇದು ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ಗೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ.
ಎಡ್ಜ್ ಪ್ರಿಸರ್ವಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ವಾ?
ಹಾ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್? ಇದು ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ C to G, ಐ ಮೀನ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಇದು 3 to 7, C to G.
3 to 7.
Yes ma'am.
C to E, that is not matching. Yeah, if it is not matching and match ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ವರ್ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಸರ್ವಿಂಗ್ ನೀವು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ನೀವು 5 to E ತಗೊಳಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, 7 to G ತಗೊಳಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಚೇಂಜ್. ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ವರ್ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಸರ್ವಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಏನ್ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ, 5 ಗೆ G ನು ತಗೋಬಹುದು, E ನು ತಗೋಬಹುದು, ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಓಕೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ? ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು G ತಗೊಂಡೆ, ನೀವು E ತಗೊಂಡ್ರಿ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? Am I right? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಳೋದು? ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? ನಾನೇನ್ ಹೇಳ್ದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ನಾವು ವರ್ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಸರ್ವಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ವೆನ್ ಐ ಸೇ 5 is equivalent to G ಅಂತ ನಾನ್ ಹೇಳ್ದೆ. 5 is ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಸರ್ವಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಏನ್ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ, 5 ಗೆ G ನು ಹಾಕೋಬಹುದು, E ನು ಹಾಕೋಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ನಮಗ್ ಅನ್ಸತ್ತಲ್ವಾ? ಬಟ್ ನಾವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನ್ G ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನೀವ್ E ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ರಿ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಬಟ್ ನೀವು ಎಡ್ಜ್ ಪ್ರಿಸರ್ವಿಂಗ್ ಹೋದಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗತ್ತೆ ಅದು ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಹಾಕೊಳಕ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. 5 ಗೆ G ನೇ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ, 7 ಗೆ E ನೇ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗತ್ತೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲೇಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಿಮ್ದು ಎಡ್ಜ್ ಪ್ರಿಸರ್ವಿಂಗ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ನೀವು ವರ್ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಸರ್ವಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ ಯಾವ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಗೆ ಹಾಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಹಾಕೋಬಹುದಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಿಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ರೈಟ್.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಸರಿ. ನಾನು CS ಬಿಡಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಫುಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಗೆ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. CM ಗೆ
1 minute. Is it clear to you now, Akrut? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ? ಏನ್ ಡೌಟ್ ಇದೆ ಹೇಳಿ. ನೀವು ಎಡ್ಜ್ ಪ್ರಿಸರ್ವ್ others also when you are in the edge preserving others when we are in the vertex preserving step. Okay, when we are in the vertex preserving step, there is always an arbitrary choice. We may be able to, for example, in this same example, we may be taking as Akrut told, we can map 5 to E and 7 to G. That is possible when you look at these kind of preserving and options. But when you go to edge preserving, you will get to know what is possible and what is not possible, because it will not match with your graphs. It has to match. If suppose there is no edge between here, if you see here, for example, in graph G, there is no edge between 4 to 7. But if you are getting it like that, then it is wrong. Okay, so you will get to know in the edge preserving whether your vertex preserving is right or not. If you are able to map every edge of G to every edge of H, then you can continue. That means your vertex preserving is also right. In that case, your adjacency matrix will also come correct. But if you are wrong here, you will not know in this step. You will know it in the edge preserving. Okay. Any more doubts? I want you to ask me whatever doubts you have in this regard, because I don't think we may be able to spend a couple of more classes on isomorphism only. I may have to go further. That is why I'm saying. If you have any doubts, please ask me, because this is a very important topic and there will be definitely one question on this to check whether the graphs are isomorphic or not. And you have to do all these 7 steps. If there is a cycle, if there is no cycle, 6 steps are enough. You can omit one step if there is no cycle in the graph. Are you all able to understand, or you
Yes,
have
ma'am.
any more doubts?
And we have to
Ma'am.
do that.
Yes, ma'am.
The matrix is not being same,
One by one, please. One by one, please. One by one.
and we have
Yes,
to map.
Raman.
We have to map 5 to E and 7 to G
Huh?
to make
Yes.
adjacency matrix same. Otherwise, it will not be same.
5 to G and 7 to E. Yes, it will not be the same. Correct. So if it is not same, you have to come back and see what are the other possible alternatives that I can map for 5. We mapped, let us say, suppose we mapped 5 to E. There was a choice for us to see 5 can be mapped to G or E. You can take any one at this point of time when you are in the vertex preserving step. So some of them will take E, some of them will take G. All right, but when you go to the next few steps, edge preserving or adjacency matrix, you will get to know that you cannot map it. So you have to come back and make this change. That should be there.
Ma'am, there is slight problem also. When we make 7 as when we map 7 to G, there is the edge 1 to 7,
1
and
to
then it
7
will.
is not there. Correct. That is also wrong. That is also an indication that you cannot map 7 to G. Right? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Any more doubts? See, when you do this edge vertex preserving, you will have a choice. Idunu ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಬಟ್ ಎಡ್ಜ್ ಪ್ರಿಸರ್ವಿಂಗ್ ಹೋದಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವು ಎಡ್ಜಸ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ will not be able to map it. So we have to go back to the previous step and correct it. Yes, Lavanya.
Ma'am, this is only for undirected graph or both it will be, ma'am? Isomorphism.
Isomorphism, it's only for undirected, only undirected.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other doubts?
Ma'am, are loops allowed, ma'am?
No. It is not there.
Okay, ma'am.
Generally, we don't consider matrices with graphs with loops for this. If there is a loop, then it becomes very clear as to where you have to map it, is it not?
Okay, ma'am.
Any other doubts? Is it clear to you all how to find out whether two graphs are isomorphic or not? Now what I'm going to do is I will draw a couple of graphs. I want all of you to take it down. Okay, and then try it at your home. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, take down a couple of graphs I'll be giving you now. Write down the graphs. Okay. The first problem, I put it as first problem. Take down this. I want all of you to write down, not simply sit and watch. Because if you don't try, all this will be there for your next week. Next Thursday is your internals. So be serious. We may not have time to do this again all over offline. If time is given, then definitely I will do. But otherwise, you may have to depend on this only. And one more thing, morning I had sent you all a couple of files of this writings. Did you all get that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that helpful in any ways? Is that helpful to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Why I gave it so that you can, when you look into that, at least you will get an idea of what we have covered in that particular hour. And if somebody has lost some connection, you can still follow up certain things. That's why I shared that. Anyway, from now onwards, every class, as I finish, I will make it PDF and share it. A, B, C, D, E, F. This is E. These two you have to check whether they are isomorphic or not. That's your first problem. Please note down. Next one. Okay, this vertex is here. Okay. Okay, let me give one more. I don't want to waste this sheet. There's some space, so I'll fill it up. Are you writing?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Try all this at home. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4 problems I have given. Try these.
Ma'am, can there be any graph which is not isomorphic?
Yeah, you want
Is
an
it?
example? I will give you that also. You want one on that?
No, I'm just asking.
Why to ask? Let us
Is it
try. Why to
okay?
ask? Let me give you one example on that also. The exam, of course, they may not ask, or I don't know. They may ask also just to confuse you. Yes. Have you noted down? Shall I change the sheet?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So I will give an example now on that. Whether they are not isomorphic, that also we can check. Yes, graphs can also not be isomorphic. Okay. Need not take down this next sheet. All right. Take this problem. Find it out right now whether they are isomorphic or not. One, two, three, and this is 4. Next graph. A, B, C, D. Check that.
Not isomorphic, ma'am. First
First of all,
condition.
cycle is not there, is it not? Hmm?
Number of vertices are different.
Yeah, number of vertices are not the same. That's one thing. Number of vertices here is 4. Here you have 5. There is a cycle here. There is no cycle here. So obviously they are not isomorphic. All right. So I have just one example which shows which is not isomorphic. There can be some graphs like this where it is not isomorphic. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So that's about graph isomorphism. Shall we proceed further?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, very good. We have spent a lot of time on this. One second. All right. So we move on to the next topic, that is connectivity. I think that's our next topic in graph. Yeah, connectivity. So here again, we'll be learning certain definitions as to what is a path. What is a path, anyone? What's a path? Hello?
A route,
Traversal.
traversal, a route
Distance.
which travel.
Let's see. Okay. Okay. A path, when we say in a graph, okay, we always talk, since we are in graph theory, we are talking everything in terms of graph only. In a graph, a path is going to be nothing but a sequence of edges, all right, that begins at a vertex and ends at another vertex, or it can also end at the same vertex. When it ends at the same vertex, then you call it as a loop or you call it as a circuit. Okay, we'll come to that. Anyway, sequence of edges that begins at a vertex and ends at another vertex is called as a path. Now, you can always have a path of certain length. Path of certain length means it is going to have a sequence of n edges. Then I say there is length is n. What do you mean by these are all important definitions. They may ask you any definitions. What do you mean by a circuit? Path is a circuit. Okay. If it, as I told you already, if it begins and ends with at the same vertex, begins and ends at the same vertex, then you call it as a circuit. Okay. Then a path or a circuit is simple. We say a path or a circuit is simple if it, what do I put it? If it does not contain the same edge more than once. If it does not contain the same edge more than once. So what is a path? Path is a sequence of edges. Okay, you have a path from one vertex to another vertex, you have a path. That is what is. That means you are going to traverse many vertices before you reach the final vertex. Okay, that is called as a path. Path of length n. N means what? Every path is going to have certain length. So a length n means it is going to have, what is the number of edges? That number of edges are nothing but your length of that particular path. Circuit, path is called as a circuit if it begins and ends at the same vertex. Then you call it as a circuit. Similar to what we had loop, no? Here you call it as circuit. And a path or a circuit can be called as a simple if it does not contain the same edge more than once. Let's take an example which will make it more easier for you all to understand. Let me take a graph. Okay, this is A, this is B, this is C, D, E, F. All right. Now, if you look at A, D, C, F, E, let's take just an example. I'm taking this is A. I move from here A to D. Okay, A to D. Then I went to C. I go here. C to F, and then I come here. That is a path. All right. A, that means a sequence of, what did I say? Path. How did we define? It is a sequence of edges. So A to D is an edge, D to C is an edge, C to F is an edge, F to E is an edge. So this is a path of length 4. Why length 4? Because you have 4 edges there. A to D is one edge, then we went from D to C, then we went from C to F, and then we went from F to E. These are the 4 edges. Therefore, the length of this particular path is nothing but 4. Any doubts?
No.
So only one student answering. And what are the others doing? Slept off?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No.
Yeah, okay.
No, ma'am.
D, E, C, A. Is it a path or not? Tell me. D, E, C, A. Is it a path?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Why not? Why not?
Ma'am, because there is no
E
connection
and
between
C
E
are
and
not
C.
connected.
E, C
There is no
is not connected. So that is why you cannot call it as a path. It's not an edge. EC is not an edge, therefore you cannot call it. Now, if I take one more example like, let me take you, where shall I take this? Okay, B, C, F, E, B. Okay, so we start from B, we move to C, B, C, C, F, F, E, E, B. So we are back to that place. This is called as a circuit. Okay, I moved out. It's a problem with this. This is called as a circuit. Why you are calling it as a circuit? It starts with the same edge and ends with the same edge. You are starting at B, B, C, F, E, B. You start at the same edge, you end at the same edge. You call this such a path, you call it as a circuit. Okay, one more example. I am writing it here. All right, I'll write it here. Let us consider the path A, B, E. What can I give? D. Let me go to A, then I'll go to B. Okay. Is it a simple path? This one. What is the length of this path? What is the length of this path?
6.
Huh?
6.
6.
6.
4.
What? A to
4.
B, B to E, 2, E to D, 3,
5, ma'am.
E to D, D to A, 4, A to B, 5. No. Length is 5. Why? Because you are having there 5 edges. Are you getting me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. This path or this circuit is not simple. What do we mean by, how did we define simple as? If it does not contain the same edge twice. If you look at this path, AB, it is containing 2 times it comes. Are you observing that? A to B, B to E, E to D, D to A, and then back to A to B. This particular, what is that? This particular edge is getting repeated twice. Hence, such a path or a circuit, you will not call it as a simple. You will not call it as a simple. Path or a circuit is called as simple only when if the same edge does not get repeated more than once. Am I clear to all of you?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Please ask if you have doubts, stop me then and there. Otherwise, it is difficult for you. It's not easy like other subjects. Okay, next. What do we mean by, what shall I take it? Okay. We will move on to next concept called as connectedness. Connectedness. Okay. What do we mean by connectedness? An undirected graph is said to be connected. Is said to be connected if there is a path between every pair of vertices. Distinct vertices, I would put it. Okay, of the graph. Then you call it as a connected graph. If the graph is not connected, then you call it as a disconnected graph. Let me take an example. That means all the points, all the vertices of a graph should be connected by, all the vertices of the graph should be connected by path. It should be connected. Nothing, no particular vertex should be left alone, okay? Left free. Then you call it as a disconnected graph. I'll give you an example. Suppose I have a graph like this, okay? Any graph, okay? Let me take it like this, and then you have something like this, and then something like this, okay? A, B, C, D. I'm just taking a random one. F and G. This is said to be a connected graph. Why connected graph? Because all the vertices is connected by a path. A is connected by a path, B is connected by a path, C is connected, D is connected, E is connected, G is connected, F is connected. Everything is connected by a path. Hence, such a graph you call it as a connected graph. Alright. Now suppose you have something like this. This is one component, and then I have something like this, I have. This is a disconnected graph, because if I name this as A, B and C, D, E, F, there is something missing, is it not? There is a connection missing, maybe perhaps between C and D. Something is missing there. There is no path. Since there is no path between C and D, this graph has, we call it as, this graph has two components. There are two separate components of this graph. This is one particular component. This is another particular component. Because there is no path between C and D, we call this graph as disconnected. Are you getting what I'm trying to say?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
ma'am.
Yeah. Connected graph means what? Connected graph means all the vertices have to be connected by the path. Nothing is left alone, is it not? There is a path for every vertex there. Then you call it as a connected graph. Disconnected means this is an example of a disconnected graph. What is happening here? There is one part you are finding here ABC, another part you are finding here D, E and F. There is some connection that is missing between C and D. It is not connected. That is why you have two different components of this particular graph. Such a graph, you call it as a disconnected graph. All right. So this is called as a connected component. This is a component of the graph. This is another component of the graph. That means you can also say it is a subgraph of that particular graph. Subgraph. All right. Next, I will continue in the next class, maybe tomorrow's class. And before we finish, okay, 1 second. Let me quickly, this next tomorrow's class, we will be doing about the further concepts on connectivity. So I want all of you to listen to the class tomorrow. See, don't join just for the sake of joining or for the sake of attendance, okay? That will not help you at all. 1 minute. Let me save this. This is an afternoon class. That's fine. Okay. Now before I end my class, see the following students, I want you all to stay in the same link right now. Don't leave the call because we'll be having a meeting with HOD and along with these students. I'm reading out the names. Shadab Ansari, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you stay on. Don't leave the meeting. Rahimtullah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Purnima.
Yes, ma'am.
Purnima, are you there? Yeah. Hemalata. Hemalata.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you there? Yeah. Stay
Yes,
on.
ma'am.
Stay on the call. Akrut.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Akrut. Okay. Chandana.
Yes, ma'am.
Lavanya.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. These students have to stay back for a quick meeting with HOD. The others can probably leave.